Good evening, my fellow Canadians. Have you thought about what is happening in Ontario and the changes that are needed to transpire within our province? I have, and I would like to share my ideas with you. My name is Andrea Horwath, and I'll be running for the Premier of Ontario, Canada. My duties will include serving Canadian citizens and ensuring your tax paying dollars are put to good use. Some issues I will be discussing this evening are Bill 148, the Fair Workplace Better Jobs Act, our high Ontario hydro prices, and secondary education school funding for middle class families. Let's discuss the repeal of Bill 148. Fact: Bill 148 was passed in 2017. This included 10 personal days off from work without having to submit a medical note and being free from any penalization from your employer. 2 of these days were paid. Minimum wage was increased substantially in 2017, and in 2019 an increase to $15 an hour was promised. In addition, after 5 years of employment, your employer was to grant you 3 weeks of vacation. Also, part-time and casual workers were to be paid the same wages as full-time employees for performing the same duties. Furthermore, if your shift was canceled within 48 hours of your start time, you were paid 3 hours of work. Fact: Doug Ford took that all away as of January 1st, 2019. CBC News 2018 reported the new law as follows. Canadians now have 8 days annually instead of 10 days. None of these days are paid. Minimum wage is currently frozen at $14 an hour, and there will be no increase this year. Let's face it, prices are increasing in every aspect. Tuition, housing, food, vehicles, I could go on and on. How is anyone able to afford to live? If I am elected, I will make sure to reinstate Bill 148 and fight for workers' rights. I believe in equality, and every Canadian should be entitled to time off due to emergencies and illness without being hassled. Furthermore, minimum wage should be looked at yearly with a fair and negotiable increase to keep up with the rising costs of living. Let's discuss our electricity costs. Fact: The Toronto Sun 2017 wrote Ontario had lost between $732 million to $1.25 billion over the previous 2 years by selling surplus clean electricity outside the province at a lower cost on the international market. We are in essence subsidizing low-cost power for Michigan, New York, and other jurisdictions, and to make matters worse, they're growing their economy by buying our electricity back at a low cost. We as Ontario citizens are basically subsidizing hydro for other provinces and markets. Fact: We are all aware the cost of electricity is too high. New job creation is sluggish, and with job losses in manufacturing due to high electricity prices. These high electricity bills are due to failed power plants that were canceled and expensive windmills that were built. But Michigan's economy has grown. Does this make any sense to you? As your premier, I will ensure there will be no more job losses and more jobs will be created in the manufacturing industry. I will ensure electricity bills are lowered, and to make this happen, we need to increase the cost of electricity we are selling on the international market. Furthermore, I would like to see our country offer a 3 to 5 year subsidized electricity rate for new businesses invested in Canada. We know we need to improve education funding. Fact: The Globe and Mail 2019 states currently under the Liberal government, the requirement to be considered for the Ontario Student Assistance Program are families earning up to $175,000 annually. However, now under the PC government, that amount is reduced to $140,000. The PC government also states it will cut tuition fees by 10%. A 10% reduction in tuition would take approximately $360 million away from universities and $80 million away from colleges. This is not a solution. If elected, I will fight for families and raise the household income back to $175,000 annually. Currently, not every student qualifies for funding. This has a huge effect on middle-class families. I believe everyone is entitled to education and the means to pay for it. To be your Premier of Ontario would be an honor. In order for me to fulfill these promises and fight for your rights as Canadians, I will need your vote. Bill 148 needs to be reinstated, hydro prices need to be reduced, and improvement in dispensing funding for education is essential because your children are our future. Thank you.